Ever found yourself hypnotized at 2 a.m. watching someone devour a mountain of noodles online? Don't worry, you're not alone. Literally, mukbang videos, they aren't just a quirky niche anymore. It turns out they're a global sensation. In fact, in 2024 alone, YouTube videos with mukbang in the title racked up over 30 billion views worldwide. Yes, billion with a B. And to put that in perspective, one top mukbang YouTuber from South Korea has over 33 million subscribers on her channel. That's more fans than most celebrity chefs or food TV networks could even dream of. So, what's going on here? Why are so many of us hooked on watching strangers binge on burgers or trek through street food markets? So, grab a snack, you'll probably need it. And let's just dig into why some people are hooked on mukbangs and food adventures. And hello, friends. I'm Isabella, and welcome to Speaking of This. And on today's episode, you might be wondering why in the world is she talking about mukbangs and food adventures? Well, there is a psychological aspect to this. But first things first, what exactly is a mukbang? The term mukbang comes from the Korean words eating and broadcast. Now, I'm not even going to try to pronounce Myokanin and Bangsa. Okay, I tried to pronounce it. But listen, in plain English, it literally means eating broadcasts, which is spot on because mukbang started in South Korea around 2010 as live streams where hosts would eat massive amounts of food while they were on camera while chatting with viewers. So listen, you basically picture this. There's a friendly host having dinner with thousands of people of online friends and a lot of food. By the mid 2000 by the mid 2010s, I gotta speak. I'm getting super excited because I do find myself watching these all of the time. But anyway, mukbangs had exploded beyond Korea. So they spread worldwide. They're all over YouTube and other social media platforms. They even merged with the trendy ASMR genre, where you get those tingly, satisfying sound videos. Although my husband cannot stand to hear me watch those mukbang videos, he does not like those slurping noodle sounds, but they merged with it, so they're creating this really wildly popular food ASMR subgenre. So fast forward to today, and mukbangs are so mainstream that the word mukbang made it into the Oxford English Dictionary in 2021. Not bad, not bad for a concept that once had people saying, "You're watching that on why are you watching that?" But mukbangs are just one part of a bigger trend of food adventures online. Because beyond watching people eat in their rooms, we also have YouTubers who travel the globe on culinary quests. They explore night markets, they taste bizarre food, they conquer outrageous eating challenges. Think of it as food vlogging meets Indiana Jones. One day a vlogger is slurping street noodles in Bangkok, the next are trying the spiciest hot wings in Texas. So these food adventure videos are letting the viewer explore global cuisines and these wild eating feats from the comfort of the couch. So sweatpants are highly recommended. And together, mukbangs and travel food blogs have turned online food content into a form of escapist entertainment that millions of people adore. And let's be honest, a few years ago, if you told me I would be spending a lot of my time watching a really happy stranger eat 10,000 calories of cheesy fried chicken, I would have told you you're crazy. That's not going to happen. Yet here I am. Here we are. I'm watching it and I'm doing an episode on it. And these days, I will happily admit that I've fallen down the mukbang rabbit hole. It kind of started innocently. So I ran across, I think it was the South Korea one that's so popular. I ran across the channel and I said, you know what? I'm just going to eat. Eat. We're talking about eating. Okay. It also makes you hungry. But I'm just going to watch one video of this person eating all this food because she was so tiny. And the next thing I know, it's an hour later and I'm virtually having dessert with them too. They do ask for dessert afterwards. And I'm thinking, how did she get all that food in her tiny little body? And how did we all get so hooked on these eating shows and food adventures? So let's look at the psychology behind our binge watching of, well, binge eating. So it sounds crazy at first. Why on earth would, we want, why on earth would anyone want to watch someone just eat this entirely large meal, and why do we find it entertaining? Shouldn't we feel bored or even off-putting by that? I mean, because some of them are just like eating. There's this one guy, he's like eating all this food and he gets it all in his beard and it's kind of gross. But surprisingly, our brains love it for a whole bunch of reasons. Psychologists have actually studied this phenomena. Yes, there was a team and a review that was done by researchers at Nottingham Trent University, and they found that they have a whole bunch of reasons why uh, behind mukbang's popularity. Let's just start with them. Escape and comfort. Life is stressful, right? Life is lifing. Mukbangs are offering us a quick escape. So we're tuning in to these happy, friendly faces, just happily chowing down, and they can be incredibly comforting. It's like video comfort food for our minds. Zero effort required. So the researchers noted that many people will watch these mukbangs as a form of entertainment and to escape from real life stresses. So after you have a long day at work or class, you're watching someone they're just happy. They're just feeling relaxed. They're eating. It's very therapeutic. And no wonder that some of their fans, I've seen them in the comments, say that they watch mukbangs to unwind before bed. The only bad side effect I'd say, because it happens to me, is I get hungry. You want to raid your refrigerator in the middle of the night. Another thing is the sensory satisfaction. So remember when I told you it was merging with ASMR? So now it's not only for your eyes, but your ears too. So have you ever felt oddly satisfied listening to bacon sizzle or watching cheese stretch in slow motion? These mukbangs are capitalizing on that sensory magic. The sounds and sights of food can trigger pleasure in your brains. So many of these mukbang videos are featuring ASMR elements. So you're imagining, so the crisp crunch of fried chicken, the slurp of ramen noodles, the fizz of soda, it's just amplified just right. And these stimuli they're giving the viewer a tingly, pleasant sensation, sometimes described as a brain message. In fact, mukbangers have turned those slurps and crunches into a whole new kind of entertainment, and they're using the science behind it. Satisfying food sounds and visuals are releasing endorphins and even dopamine and oxytocin. Those are the hormones that make you feel good and bonded. So you're feeling good and you're bonding with the person on the video that's doing that. So basically, a great mukbang is sensory candy. It's the closest thing to actually eating without any calories. And bonus, you don't have to do all them dishes afterwards. It's no wonder terms like food porn exist. We genuinely get pleasure just from watching and listening to delicious food being enjoyed. And honestly, I find myself not only on those channels, but I also will watch like the food, like people making recipes, people doing stuff like that at night to relax. Another thing is guilt free indulgence. Believe it or not, when you're watching someone else eat yummy, high calorie foods, it can scratch that itch without us having to take a single bite. Ever had the experience of craving something, then oddly feeling satisfied just seeing someone else eat it? That's a real thing called vicarious eating. There was a study that was done that found that people actually had fewer cravings for pizza and candy after watching someone eat those foods on video. And it doesn't even it sounds wild, right? It's as if your brain is saying, "Well, I vicariously ate that entire chocolate cake because I just watched Bob on YouTube eat it, so I'm good." For viewers who are on diets or unable to get certain treats, these mukbangs are providing a guilt free way to enjoy the idea of food. And let's be honest, sometimes it backfires, though. Sometimes it backfires. You're ordering pizza at midnight anyway, but hey, you did try. Also, entertainment and humor. They're very entertaining. They're fun. These good mukbang creators are entertainers. So they eat, they tell engaging stories, they crack jokes, they react to over the top ways to the food. It's like having dinner with some really articulate, chatty, funny friend. Some creators even do wild food challenges, like attempting a 10 times spicy noodle challenge that has them breathing fire or seeing how many burgers they can stack. And the spectacle of all of it is wildly entertaining to people. Will they finish, that gigantic bowl of noodles? Will their eyes water eating that ghost pepper chili? We watch with, our eyes are all wide open to find out. And I mean, I do this. Listen, there's this guy, like I told you, I really find it disgusting. All that food gets in his beard and he has a really long beard. So I literally will still watch his channel, but fast forward to the end to see if he finished all that food. But when a mukbanger has a big personality or a quirky style, that's just adding to the show. So they could give you dramatic reaction. This is so good, I'm gonna cry. To comedic banter with the audience. They just keep us laughing and hooked. It's reality TV, man versus food streamed on any device that you have. Also, there's this parasocial connection, or this what we call this virtual company. And this is the big secret sauce. A lot of us watch mukbangs because it makes us feel less lonely. Humans are social creatures. We love sharing meals, but what if you're eating alone? Enter the mukbanger on your screen, your virtual dinner buddy. Many fans actually say, you know what? These eating show gives them a comforting sense of companionship. So you're sitting down to eat, you turn on your streaming device. Oh, there's your mukbanger sitting with you at the table, the virtual table, chatting with you. Um, and you're still solo in your kitchen. Psychologists talk about something called the compensatory internet use model. Basically, when we lack social interaction in real life, we go online to fill that gap. Mukbangs are just muck bangs. Let me get it right, are a prime example that, might greet the host might greet the viewer. They talk about their day, they ask questions. What's your favorite pizza topping? They're different from like what I'm doing here with this video podcast, because it depends on what platform. So if you have this type of platform, then certainly you're engaging with your viewers. Those vlogs and different things like that are different, even though they can't hear you respond. So if I ask you, how are you doing today? I'm here, I see you, you're heard. I can't hear you respond, but I hope you feel included. And over time, you start feeling like these online personalities. You laugh with them, you empathize with them, with their shared stories. And this one-sided friendship with a media personality is called a parasocial relationship. And boy, do mukbang fans develop them in droves. I mean, I have never, and I went to the comments and I've seen it. I've never met these YouTubers, but I can tell you, just by going through like comments or anything like that, they don't even have to speak, but their fans, they know who prefers extra cheese on their burgers, or who has a cat off screen that sometimes sneaks into the videos, because they feel like they're friends. All these psychological factors, comfort, sensory satisfaction, vicarious enjoyment, entertainment, connection. They're combining and they make mukbangs strangely addictive. So, through fighting loneliness, they're giving a sense of belonging, tickling the senses, providing pure escapism. These videos give your mind and soul a reward that it's craving. No wonder once we start watching one video, it turns into like 10, 20. This happened to me. That's why I'm really why I was fascinated with this topic because I'm like, why? I don't normally watch these. It just took one video, one, and here I am looking for more. And it's not just a theory. You can probably see a bit of yourself in these reasons. Maybe you come for the sound of slurping noodles. I don't. I don't like that. But some people, it relaxes them. I'm telling you, I mute it during that time. Then I unmute it or I fast forward when the stuff gets in the beard. But maybe you like it. Maybe that's what you come for and you stay because the host is making these great jokes and you're laughing. And before you know it, your oxytocin is flowing and it just feels nice to have the upbeat presence while you eat your own dinner. So, that said, there needs to be some factors that really make that video work because those are the secret ingredients that will keep you glued to the screen and drooling, figuratively speaking, probably because it's going to make you hungry. And not all foods are created equal because some of the most successful mukbangs and food adventure blogs have that special recipe that's going to keep you coming back for seconds, thirds, fourths, fifths. Let's just unpack some key ingredients. So, for a lot of viewers, sound. Sound is what they want, and it's half of the experience. And we touched on this with the ASMR, but it's worth emphasizing that a great mukbanger knows how to make your speakers sizzle. Listen, they'll use really high quality mics to capture every crackle, every crunch, every slurp, and you're going to hear the thunderous crunch of fried chicken leg as if it's in your own ear and you got your fist wrapped around it, or the fizz of cola being poured over ice. And it just sounds so amazing. It's going to trigger a visceral satisfaction. And there's a reason some creators, though, barely talk at all. People like Zach Choi, who built a huge following, did so just by silently up close eating with only eating noise, just eating, just he's not talking. And you know what? People say it's strangely zen. Even if you're not an ASMR junkie, you might find yourself actually feeling relaxed or pleased by these sounds. I do not, but you may. They're tapping into a primal sensory joy, or at least they really make you want the food. I mean, listen, my stomach has definitely growled during a few of these different videos, but usually it's not the mukbang videos because I'm still just sitting there with fascination as to how, especially the really tiny ones, how are they getting all that food in their belly? Anyway, there's also the visual feast because food vlog creators are experts at presentation. The food isn't just tasty, it looks beautiful or at least fascinating to look at. I mean, there's bright colored sushi rolls that are neatly arranged, a cheese pull in high definition slow mo, an outrageous 5 tier burger that looks like a cartoon that's come to life, and even the messiness that happens, the saucy fingers, the oozing yolk from an egg. It's all part of the visual appeal because our eyes love food porn and these videos deliver it in spades. It's not all glitz either. Sometimes the sheer quantity is the shock factor. Yeah, when you see a table covered from edge to edge in pancakes, that is awe inspiring or a little scary depending on your appetite. The point is, mukbangers set the stage so that when you click play, you immediately get hit with wow, look at that. And you're hooked. And then they zoom in on the food. They use jump cuts to keep the pace. They lay things out in a tempting buffet. And as an audience, we are eating it all up with our eyes first on screen. We get to feast without limits. Of course, there are some that don't just sit and eat. You got big personalities. You got food storytelling, excuse me. So it's more of not just about eating sounds, but about the personality behind the food. So these creators aren't just eating, they're essentially hosting a mini dinner party and you're invited. Millions of people are invited. You got the warm, funny, quirky host making all the difference. Some will actually tell you stories from their life. This dish reminds me of grandma's cooking. Others just crack jokes between bites. Some react with genuine passion to the food and they can't help but smile. Many of these, what I noticed is that many of these mukbang YouTubers treat their videos like a vlog plus eating show hybrid. So they're going to update you on their day and they're going to talk about how that food was made and then they're going to share some cultural tidbits. So this food storing aspect is huge, and so you have a travel food blogger, for example, that might tell the history of the street food they're trying or how they found a hidden family run restaurant with a great story. So not only do you get to see the food, you're learning something and now you're connecting even more. So it's like you're hanging out with an old friend and they're a great storyteller and you come for the food, but you stay for the company, so to speak. So there's this cultural connection because and variety as well. So think back when I told you the first one I found was from South Korea. And there is one there that's huge. I believe that may be her who I was watching. But mukbangs may have started with Korean food, but now it's sort of a global buffet. And one of the coolest things is how these videos introduce us to new cuisines and cultures. So you can find these mukbangers from all over the world. They're bringing their local dishes to the table. If you're curious about, one culture, there's a mukbanger for that. Never seen Brazilian street food? Probably someone's live streaming it right now. So you have a cultural variety and it scratches that itch for adventure and learning. So it's almost like, hey, look up your video, start streaming it, and you're traveling via YouTube. Hey, I can say that about travel channels. I am a huge fan of travel channels. Did not know I was a fan until I met one such. I didn't meet her. I keep thinking I met her. But her channel is her name is Cecilia. Most of you listening probably know who she is. She lives in Svalbard. Anyway, she was the first channel that I started following. I was like, who is this person? And why do I now want to travel to Svalbard? So from her was born many other YouTubers that travel around that I follow. So, it opened up. It's like I am able to sit and join in the adventure that they're sharing with me. So, this cultural aspect not only keeps content fresh, there's always a new dish or food or place to discover, but it also fosters a sense of connection across borders. So, we start appreciating foods we never knew about and respecting the cultures that they come from. So, they're broadening our horizons one meal at a time, y'all. Ah, that was a little corny, but they are broadening our horizons. And again, adventure and challenge, because under the umbrella of food adventure, many videos will tap into our love of challenges and novelty. We love things new. How much can that one person eat? How spicy will they go? Will they actually eat that strange thing? There's a thrill in watching someone attempt the outrageous. It's part of the entertainment, but it's also its own draw, almost like a sport. Some of these channels specialize in extreme eating, the kind that might make your doctor uh, question things. For instance, a competitive eater might film themselves tackling a 10-pound burrito or 100 chicken nuggets. And you're sitting there like in suspense. Like, can they do it? On the flip side, travel food vloggers might venture into remote areas or back alley markets and find really rare ingredients. So that's also adventurous in a discovery sense. So this is tapping into the viewer's curiosity. Maybe you'd never dare to try fermented shark meat. No, I wouldn't, but thank you. or super spicy ramen yourself, no thank you. But it's fascinating, yes, it is, to watch someone else do it. So you're living vicariously through their, dare I say, bravery, or should I say madness? I don't know. But anyway, these adventures, they add an extra spice. Extra spice, y'all. I'm full of it today. So they're adding extra spice to food content, ensuring that you're not having a dull moment. And I hope you're not on this podcast. So you're not just watching eating, you're watching a challenge, a journey, an experiment, and it keeps you on the edge of your seat. You want to see what's going to happen. So all of these elements, the sounds that make you feel the crunch, those visuals, the charismatic host, the cultural variety of venture, they're blending together and they're creating this irresistible recipe for the viewer. A good mukbang or food vlog hits multiple pleasure points all at once. So you need to be entertained, you need to be relaxed, you need to be intrigued, and you need to be maybe enlightened. It's that combo meal that you ordered when you turn on that video. And perhaps more importantly, behind all the food, there is a human connection being built, which brings us to the real heart of the matter, the emotional bond between the viewer and their favorite food content creators. That that's a real juicy secret behind the mukbang craze. It's not just about what or how much the host is eating, it's about who they are to the viewer. The most successful food content creators aren't just feeding themselves on camera, they're feeding connection to their audience. Viewers will develop genuine emotional attachments to these personality, and it's kind of wild, but let's dig into it. It happens same thing with people who do vlogs. Let's think about classic TV cooking hosts, Julia Child, Emeril Lagasse, not just for bam, remember Emeril? This episode has me in my comedic mind today, but listen, they were loved for their warmth and personality. Now take that and multiply it by the intimacy of YouTube. These mukbangers are talking directly to the camera, often in a very casual, personal way, like they're talking to their best friend. So you feel like you're FaceTiming with them. And over time, you start to feel a closeness and loyalty to them. And you know their catchphrases, their favorite foods, their pet peeves. You might even celebrate live milestones with them. Congrats on 1 million subscribers. Here's to many more seafood boils. You know what? I did the same thing. I'm sitting here laughing and I did the same thing. So I told you that I found my love for travel channels through Cecilia. Well, she recently reached 1 million subscribers, and what was I doing? I was congratulating her. Okay. So, yes, there is a big emotional draw, and it is a sense of shared experience. Eating is inherently a social act. We can't do it together in person. If we can't do it together in person, then okay, doing it virtually, that's great too. Mukbang viewers often say they feel like they're eating with someone when they watch them eat. So if you're a lonely person, or maybe you're living far from family, of course you're going to seek that out. That feeling is gold to you. And during the lockdowns, if you remember those, for instance, those eating shows saw a spike in popularity because people craved that feeling of not eating alone. So that's when I think a lot of their popularity actually began to spike. There are some really touching examples of these mukbangers fostering emotional connections. In South Korea, for example, the original home of mukbang that I noted earlier, there are a lot of single people and students living away from home who started watching this to cope with loneliness during meals. So the host became like friends or family at dinner time. There was an academic review that pointed out that mukbang viewers experience a feeling of belonging. That's so powerful. So they did this study and they discovered that these people that view these types of channels, these viewers, are actually feeling a sense of belongingness and even empathy toward their host. A feeling of belongingness is such a huge marker in terms of not feeling depressed, not feeling lonely, not being mentally okay. I came across a story where a popular mukbanger did a special video themed for military veterans. So he ate in a room decorated with army memorabilia dedicated to those who had served. Listen, it goes deep because many retired veterans watched and they felt deeply moved, as if the internet, that host understood and honored them, and it created a sense of camaraderie. So, how incredible is that? That was just a simple act of sharing a meal virtually. And this YouTuber helped a group of people feel seen and feel connected. Even on a simpler level, you have viewers who say things like, I feel like I know you in the comments of the video. So they'll share their own stories. Watching you eat spicy ramen reminds me of my mom's cooking. I miss her, but your videos cheer me up. That's an example. And when the mukbanger actually reads and comments in the comment section or on the next video, guess what just happened? Now that bond is strengthened. It becomes a two-way relationship of sorts, even though it's mostly virtual. And over time, you're not just tuning in for the food, you are tuning in to see what your friend is up to. Okay, so if your friend is having a bad day or looks sad, then the fans are going to worry about it. When they're excited about something, the fans are going to be excited too. It's an emotional investment. So it's more engaging content. You care. You care about the people. This is a parasocial relationship. And it doesn't matter though, the feelings are real. And this is a climatic insight. The success of mukbangs and food adventures isn't just they show tasty food, it's that they're satisfying emotional hunger too. They make us feel connected, they make us feel comforted and entertained. And I can attest to that because when I first started watching Cecilia, it was during a bad time in my life. And she just made me feel peace and happy. So I just kept watching. It's just a powerful mix. Eating together is one of the most fundamental human social activities, and these videos are tapping into that primal need in a modern digital way. And you know what? Like I said, another confession moment. I do have at least one favorite mukbanger who I watch religiously. And when I see a new video pop up, actually it just pops up on my TV. I act like I don't want to click on it. I'll go past it, especially if my husband's laying next to me because he doesn't like that kind of stuff. But inside, I'm like, ooh, I'm gonna wait till he's sleeping. I'm gonna see what they're eating today. So and so I'll just wait. I'll stay awake and wait so I can hit play and see what my friend is eating today. And anyway, so there is an emotional connection that is the not, this kind of emotional connection is the not so secret ingredient that keeps viewers like me wanting to see what's going on hooked. Because no matter how amazing the food looks, if the person behind it doesn't really click with you, you're probably not going to stick around for a long time. So even the information I give, I know people come on, I'm not for them. They listen to me, I'm not for them. Some people listen to me, and I am for them. So it's all subjective, and that's okay. But if they do click, oh boy, oh boy, they're going to be there through every pizza, every noodle, every giant lobster they tackle. So, statistics aside, there you have it. The deliciously diverse reasons why so many people, myself included, seem to be hooked on these mukbangs and food adventures. And it turns out that watching people eat online may not be as odd as it sounded and felt to me. In fact, it feeds us in more ways than one. So, from satisfying cravings to soothing loneliness to sparking curiosity from different cultures around our world. It's entertaining, it's comforting, it's community. It is the whole package, and it's wrapped up in a napkin and served sometimes with a side of humor. So, what are your favorite mukbang channels or food content creators? Do you have a go to mukbang YouTuber who always brightens your day, or some sort of memorable food adventure video that left you craving something new. Share your favorites with us. Leave some feedback. Consider this our little virtual potluck of recommendations, and I can't help it. I, I've got to use all the food words, drop all the silly, um, really dry humor. And if you're still with me, thank you for joining me on this lighthearted journey and psychological perspective on why people really enjoy mukbangs and food vlog adventures. It has been an absolute joy sharing some few laughs up my dry humor, insights, and psychological perspectives about why we love food content. I bet you didn't know that there was psychology in that. Very interesting. And and it can be addictive at the same time. So go grab yourself a treat. You've earned it after all this food talk, and maybe cue up your favorite eating show, for research purposes, of course. And if you got anything out of this video, consider following the podcast on all the platforms that you get your podcast. Also, consider leaving some feedback. And until next time, happy viewing, happy munching, bon appetit. Take care of your mind, body, and soul. And I'll see you in the next episode.